ever feel like you're bumping up against these invisible walls in your life?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's this whole universe of possibility, but you're kind of stuck in this tiny room, you know?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Well, that's where the art of possibility comes in.
Uh-huh.
We're diving deep into this book
All right.
by Rosamund and Benjamin Zander.
Best of luck.
Let me tell you, this is not your typical self-help fluffy stuff.
No, not at all. This book really goes beyond just positive thinking. You know, it gives you practical tools
Yeah.
to actually shift your whole perspective. It's like recognizing those invisible walls are really just limits
Right.
that you're putting on yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how do we break free from that?
Yeah.
How do we create a reality that's more expansive and fulfilling?
It all starts with this idea of the map, right? It's
Yeah.
like our brain constructs this map of the world, but it's based on survival instincts,
Right.
not necessarily reality. I mean,
Right.
think about it. We're wired to focus on potential threats, danger.
Yeah, like that's how we survive.
Right. Exactly. But then we also miss out on opportunities, possibilities that don't quite fit into our worldview.
Exactly. And it's like that analogy the book uses about the frog, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that a frog, their eyes, they're designed to only see certain colors.
Right.
So it could be staring right at a breathtaking sunset.
Yeah.
But all it's really seeing is this limited spectrum.
Huh.
So similarly, our mental maps, they can kind of create these blind spots.
Yeah.
And they prevent us from seeing the full richness of what's out there.
Okay, so we're like frogs with limited vision.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
But how do we expand that vision? You know, the book uses that classic 9-dot puzzle
Yes.
as an example. And you know what?
I love that puzzle.
I always struggled with that. I could
Oh,
never.
that's a good one.
It's so hard. You have to connect those 9 dots
Yeah.
with 4 straight lines without lifting your pen. It just seems impossible.
It does. And you know why most people get stuck?
Why?
Because they assume that they have to stay within that square,
Yeah.
that imaginary square that the dots make.
Uh-huh.
But the solution, it's literally thinking outside of the box, you know?
Oh, wow.
And it's a powerful metaphor for how all those assumptions, you know, they
Yeah.
restrict our thinking
Yeah.
and really just limit our potential.
Mind blown. So how do we break free from those self-imposed boxes? And this is where the book throws out this amazing phrase.
Oh, yeah.
It's all invented.
I love that.
When I first read that, I was like, wait, are they saying reality is like a hoax, but it's actually so much deeper?
Right. So much deeper than that. It's all invented. It's
Hmm.
not like denying reality, right?
Right.
It's recognizing that the meaning we give to it, the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are,
Yeah.
what's possible, those are constructed.
Hmm.
You know, they're based on beliefs, assumptions.
Right.
We've inherited them or unconsciously adopted.
So instead of being trapped by these old stories, we can actually choose to invent new ones.
Yes.
That empower us.
Exactly.
Instead of I'm bad at math, it's I'm capable of learning anything.
Yes, exactly.
It's like hitting the reset button
It is.
on our limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Imagine the freedom
Yeah.
that comes from realizing that you can rewrite those stories that have been holding you back.
Mm.
That you have the power to choose the narratives that support your growth, your dreams.
That's seriously powerful stuff.
It is.
And speaking of empowering beliefs, the book tells this incredible story about Benjamin Zander,
Oh, yeah.
the conductor who gives all his students an A at the beginning of the semester.
Right.
Before they've even played a note. I was like, wait, what? Is this great inflation gone wild? But there's a method to his madness.
There is. He's not lowering his standards, you see.
Right.
He's creating a whole different paradigm for learning. He wants his students to focus on their passion, their love for the music, their own journey of growth, not chasing grades or fearing failure.
Yeah.
That A becomes a symbol of their potential. You know, a reminder that they're already worthy of excellence.
Okay, but how does that actually play out in the classroom, you know? Does everyone just slack off?
Yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah, because they already have the A.
Yeah.
The book shares a story about a student from Taiwan
Yes.
who was completely thrown off by this whole A thing. I mean, he was used to being ranked 68th.
Out of 70.
Yeah, out of 70 students.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's he's an A student. Like, how do you, it just messed with his sense of self.
It's a perfect illustration of how we identify,
Yeah.
with labels, external
Right.
validation.
Hmm.
But what's so inspiring is that he eventually chooses to embrace that air identity.
Wow.
You know, he realizes that both labels, like number 68, a student, they were arbitrary.
Yep.
So why not choose the one that empowers him to be his best?
That story gave me chills.
Yeah.
It makes you think, what if we all started giving ourselves and others an A?
That's a powerful question.
Not in a way that avoids accountability or anything, but in a way that recognizes that inherent worth
Exactly.
and the potential that we all have. How would that change our perspective on challenges, relationships, even our self-image?
It really is. It's a powerful question for all of us to consider.
Yeah.
How might giving yourself, how might giving other people an A shift your perspective?
Mm.
How might it unlock these hidden possibilities within you?
Absolutely.
It's an invitation to step into a world where potential is celebrated, not judged,
Yeah.
where growth is the ultimate measure of success.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on this beautiful concept of the central self.
Yes.
The book describes it as this inherently generous, creative, connected part of ourselves.
It's like our purest essence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shining through even when things are really difficult.
And it reminds us that we're not just these individuals like striving for survival all the time,
Yeah.
but beings that are wired for connection and compassion, contribution.
Exactly.
And to illustrate this, they share this heartbreaking but incredibly powerful story about this little girl, Ilse,
Oh, yes.
in Auschwitz. Can you tell us a bit about her story?
Sure. Ilse's story, it's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit,
Mm.
and the enduring power of that central self. Imagine being a child in a concentration camp,
Right.
surrounded by unimaginable suffering.
Oh, yeah.
She finds a raspberry, and it's her only possession
Wow.
in this horrific place, and she gives it to her friend.
Oh, wow.
An act of pure generosity,
Yeah.
like a spark of light in the darkest of times.
It's a reminder that even in the face of just unimaginable adversity,
Yeah.
our capacity for love and connection and generosity can still shine through.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful testament to that strength of the human spirit
Yeah.
and the unwavering presence of that central self within each of us.
It's that inherent goodness, that capacity for love and connection.
Yeah.
That's the foundation for everything else we'll explore in the art of possibility.
Mm.
It's about tapping into that source of strength,
Right.
allowing it to guide us,
Right.
our actions, our relationships, our vision of the world.
I love that.
And that brings us to this practice that can fundamentally shift the way you approach challenges,
Okay.
setbacks, all that. And it's called being the board.
Being the board. Okay. That sounds a little cryptic. What's the game here?
Okay, so imagine life is a game, right?
Okay.
And all the events, all the circumstances, even the people involved, those are like pieces on this game board.
Uh-huh.
And most of us, we tend to get caught up reacting to the moves of the game.
Yeah.
Right? Blaming other pieces.
Right.
Feeling like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. It's like, why me? This is so unfair.
But being the board flips the script. It asks you to step back and view the entire game from this wider perspective. It's like asking, how did this situation even get on the board that I am?
Oh, so instead of focusing on who's to blame or why something's unfair, you're looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And your role in creating it, that current reality.
Precisely. And this shift, it's so empowering. It moves you from powerlessness to agency.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have the power to shape the game
Wow.
rather than just reacting.
The book shares this story about a manager
Yes.
who was constantly clashing with this colleague.
Uh-huh.
And she felt frustrated, helpless, convinced that this colleague was just, the problem. But when she started being the board, things began to change.
Yeah. Instead of complaining about the colleague's behavior,
Yeah.
she started asking, well, what am I doing?
Oh, interesting.
That might be contributing to this. How can I change my approach?
Yeah.
How can I create a better outcome?
So it's not about denying that the colleague might be difficult, but it's about taking responsibility for her part in the situation.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And being the board,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean accepting bad behavior,
Right.
letting people walk all over you. It's about recognizing that you always have choices
Yeah.
in how you respond.
Yeah.
Even in these tough situations,
Yeah.
you still have the power to influence the game.
Okay, I'm starting to see how powerful being the board can be.
Yeah.
It's like you're not just a pawn in the game of life, you're the game creator,
You
which
are.
is a pretty amazing realization.
It is.
And this practice, you can apply it to so many areas of life, right? Think about conflicts in your family,
Oh, yeah.
frustrations at work,
Totally.
even those moments when you're just like banging your head against the wall trying to achieve some goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, being the board allows you to kind of take a step back,
Yes.
assess, and say, okay, what moves can I make to change the game?
Exactly. It's about taking ownership
Yeah.
of your experience
Mm-hmm.
and empowering yourself to create positive change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the WE.
Oh, good.
This is another core concept in the art of possibility, and it's about moving beyond this duality, this us versus them,
Yeah, yeah.
and embracing this more interconnected way of being.
Yeah. The WTE, it's about recognizing that we're not isolated. We're part of this larger whole, the collective,
Right.
striving towards a common purpose.
Yeah.
It's about shifting from separation to unity, shared responsibility.
The book uses this I love this. It's this delightful anecdote about Roz Zander's
Oh, yeah?
shopping trip with her granddaughter.
A good one.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So Roz, she was playing this game, right? With her granddaughter,
Yeah.
where she pretended to be like this queen
Okay.
and demanding this very specific gift.
Okay.
The granddaughter, playing the servant, she felt all this pressure,
Oh yeah.
resentful.
Of course. Yeah.
But when they shifted to the we perspective, it was like, okay, how do we work together to find this perfect gift?
Mm.
It became this joyful, collaborative thing.
So instead of I demand this, it becomes let's explore this together and find something that we both enjoy.
Exactly. It's subtle,
Yeah.
but it's a profound shift.
And this shift from demanding to integrating,
Yeah.
I, you to we, can have such a transformative impact.
Hmm.
You know, think about our relationships, our work, even our approach to societal challenges.
Yeah, imagine approaching conflict
Yeah.
with a we mindset, seeking solutions that benefit everyone,
Right.
not getting stuck in that win-lose.
Right.
It's like an antidote to all the divisiveness,
Yeah.
all the polarization that we're seeing.
Absolutely. And the book doesn't shy away from acknowledging like the complexities of the
Right.
witty E, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about denying individual differences
Right.
or pretending that everyone always agrees. It's about cultivating a spirit of collaboration
Yes.
where diverse perspectives are valued and integrated into this larger vision.
And it's not a fixed state,
Yeah.
it's constantly evolving.
Right.
It's a dance
Yeah.
between us, a dynamic process of co-creation.
It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected.
Yeah.
That our actions, they impact one another.
Absolutely.
And that by working together we can create this more harmonious, fulfilling world for everyone.
Yeah, all these practices, the map, it's all invented.
Yeah.
Giving an A, being the board, embracing the WE.
Uh-huh.
They point to this radical shift in perspective.
It's about moving beyond this worldview that's based on scarcity, limitations, fear, and stepping into this universe of possibility where abundance, creativity, connections, these are the guiding principles.
And this shift, it's not just about feeling good.
Right.
It's about creating a world that works for everyone.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into that collective potential to solve these problems, build these thriving communities,
Yeah.
create a future that's both sustainable and inspiring.
And the art of possibility, it doesn't just talk about these ideas in these abstract terms. It provides concrete examples
Yeah.
of how these principles are being applied in real-world settings.
Like how these practices are transforming, like leadership,
Yeah.
education, even conflict resolution on a global scale. Shall we dive into those next?
Absolutely. I'm eager to hear more about how these seemingly like abstract concepts are being put into action.
Yeah.
To create real and lasting change, let's explore those inspiring stories and see how the art of possibility is shaping this more expansive, fulfilling world for everyone.
It's amazing how the art of possibility weaves together these like profound philosophical concepts
Yeah.
with real-world examples. We've been talking about maps,
Yeah.
inventions,
Right.
giving A's, being the board, the we.
Uh-huh.
But the book also dives into how our everyday language
Uh-huh.
can either open up possibilities or slam the door shut, you know?
It is fascinating how just subtle shifts in language can just like dramatically alter our perception, create
Yeah.
totally different reality. Think about how often we get caught up in like what they call downward spiral talk, right?
Yeah.
Complaining, blaming, focusing on what's wrong. It's like we're just reinforcing this sense of scarcity, limitation, pessimism.
Yeah. It's like that saying, what you focus on expands.
Exactly.
If you're constantly talking about problems, you're just creating more problems.
Yes. But what if we consciously shifted our language?
Yeah.
You know, to focus on solutions, opportunities, possibilities.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Instead of saying there's not enough funding for the arts,
Yeah.
you could say we need to find creative ways to support the arts.
Oh, like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of I'm too stressed to exercise, it's I'm going to carve out 15 minutes for a walk today to clear my head, boost my energy.
Yeah.
It's about reframing the situation, empowering yourself to take action.
So it's not about, denying reality or pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
But it's about choosing language that supports a more positive and proactive mindset.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about shifting from a language of complaint,
Right.
resignation, to a language of possibility
Possibility.
and action. And that shift, it can have a ripple effect,
Mhm.
Not just our thoughts, our behaviors, but the way we interact with other people, the way we shape the world around us.
Now, speaking of shaping the world, The Art of Possibility also talks about the importance of being present
Yes.
as opposed to resisting reality. And,
Oh, that's a good one.
it's easy to confuse those two,
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm being super zen and accepting,
Right.
but really I'm just like avoiding dealing with something difficult.
It's subtle. It's
Mhm.
subtle, but it's so crucial, that distinction. Being present means you're acknowledging the way things are.
Right.
Even when they're not pleasant,
Yeah.
even when they're painful, you're acknowledging them without judgment,
Yeah.
without resistance.
Yeah.
It's about accepting what is so you can then move forward with clarity,
Yeah.
with intention.
Resistance, on the other hand, it just keeps us stuck
Yes.
in this cycle of negativity.
It does, yeah.
It prevents us from seeing the possibility. It's like trying to swim upstream against a really powerful current.
Exactly. You're just exhausting yourself,
Yeah.
But getting nowhere. The book shares a great story about Jane Goodall,
Oh, yeah?
the primatologist, her work with the chimps,
Right.
She witnessed some horrific things, violence, territorial disputes, even cannibalism within these chimp communities.
Mm,
But, despite seeing that dark side,
yeah.
she never lost her sense of awe and wonder at the beauty and complexity of the natural world.
It makes you realize that even in the midst of darkness and suffering, there's always that glimmer of light,
Yeah.
that possibility for growth and transformation. It's
Sure.
about choosing where we focus our attention, what stories we tell ourselves, how we choose to respond to the challenges.
And that brings us to, I think, one of the most crucial questions posed in The Art of Possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Are we creating a world that works for everyone?
It's a question that invites us to step back, I think, and consider the impact
Yeah.
of our choices, our
Mhm.
actions, our way of being in the world. Are we contributing to a culture of scarcity,
Mm-hmm.
competition, fear?
Yeah.
Or are we actively creating this world that's based on abundance
Yeah.
and collaboration and compassion?
It's a call to action
Ah.
to move beyond just our own self-interest
Right.
and embrace this vision of shared responsibility.
Yeah.
Recognizing that our individual well-being, it's tied to the well-being of everyone else, of the planet.
So it's not just about personal transformation. It's about using these principles
Yes.
to create a more just, equitable, sustainable world for everyone.
Exactly. It's about embracing this idea that we're all interconnected,
Uh-huh.
that our actions have ripple effects
Yeah.
that extend far beyond ourselves. And what's so beautiful about The Art of Possibility
Yeah.
is it doesn't just present these ideas,
Mhm.
it provides concrete examples of individuals, organizations that are putting these into practice.
Like the story of Nelson Mandela.
Oh, yes.
And the Truth for Reconciliation Commission in South Africa.
Powerful, powerful example.
After decades of apartheid, a system based on racial segregation and oppression, Mandela, I mean, he could have easily chosen revenge.
Oh, yeah, retribution.
Yeah, but instead he chose forgiveness,
Yeah.
reconciliation, this creation of a Wubi
Yeah.
that included both the victims and the perpetrators of apartheid.
He understood that true healing, lasting change, could only come from acknowledging that shared humanity.
It's an inspiring reminder that even in the most challenging circumstances,
Yeah.
we have that power to choose love over hate, connection over division, possibility over limitation.
And that, I think, is the essence of the art of possibility. You know,
Yeah.
it's not about denying the realities of the world, the suffering, injustice, conflict. It's about choosing to believe that a better world is possible
Yeah.
and then working, actively working to
Right.
create it.
Yeah.
One thought, one action, one interaction at a time.
It's about cultivating that mindset of abundance, embracing that power of the we, recognizing that within each of us there's that potential to make a difference.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought, I think, a provocative one,
Okay.
from the art of possibility. If you could choose any game to play in your life, what would it be? What kind of world would you create if you knew you couldn't fail? What possibilities would you embrace if you truly believed that anything was possible?
We encourage you to explore the art of possibility further and discover your own answers to those powerful questions. Until next time, may your life be filled with possibility, wonder, and the joy of creating a world that works for everyone.